a subliminal pursue kwa particular. What you wish you are is what we are. Kila mara kushock the culture, jadish how deep you are, how sick you are.
So let's celebrate while we still can. Niaje sana kwa sana album reviews. Karibu sana kwa another album review. Shukran sana kama ni mara yako ya kwanza kuwa hapa to this channel. Welcome to the world that's sana kwa sana. It's an in-depth and intricate universe that you can easily get lost into. Na utawai maliza, you might never make it back. So kuwa careful sana if this is your intro and you want to dive into more content. Tafadhali, warning, advisory. If you are a returning subscriber and viewer, you are confirming whatever I am saying. It's more than an assertion. You keep coming back, you keep getting lost kwa hizi videos over and over again. Shukran kwa kuwa hapa. Day 28 of MWE, tumefikia tamati ya MWE. Ina stand for Music Writer Exercise. If you've watched a number of videos this month or whenever you're watching this za MWE, unajua kile nasema. We've been doing this for 28 days. Leo ndio siku ya mwisho ya MWE for 2022 Music Writer Exercise. Gary Suarez, an American music critic, alianzisha back in 2015. Na the concept ni kila siku of February sikiza an album hujawahi sikiza before, then andika a tweet about it. Nimekuwa nikifanya since 2019. Last year 2021 nilianza kufanya first listen reviews za kila project that nasikiza, Kenyan projects peke yake. Certainly this year nimefanya the same thing, ndio maana nimesema tumefika mwisho. Leo ni the 28th day of February, sai ni 8:59 PM. It's been an amazing journey, imefikia the end. Until next time, if you're interested kucheki other videos that I've done throughout this year, this month, consider kuzicheki. If you haven't yet, consider pia kuangalia albums na Kenyan music projects that nilisikiza last year. As I've stated, tumefika mwisho, na as the video title inasema ya e-review, tuko about to take it back in time as I've been doing this week. If ungependa kucheki reviews nimefanya this week, ziko along these lines, kwenda back to the 70s na 60s and some works from the 90s, or one from the 90s. Hiyo ilikuwa Nairobi City Ensembles Kaboom Boom. In fact, Kaboom Boom ni ya early 2000s. Nimeconfuse na Journey ya Jabali Africa. So if those are your kind of projects that ungetaka kucheki nikireview, consider kuzicheki. We are taking it back in time. This is a work released in 1975 ya Black Savage, a significant Kenyan Afro rock band. Tukifanya hizi reviews, our criteria huwa na aspects tatu: production and musicality, concept na idea, na the content and themes of a project. Hawa ni an Afro rock band, therefore their project yenye ilikuwa shrouded in mystery na ilikuwa obscure juu walikuwa lost for some time ama silent for some time, ama tuseme the information on this band ilikuwa obscure kwa muda mrefu up until the reissue of their only work to ever exist. This makes it an interesting listen and an interesting album overall juu indio kile waliwahi produce as a band. After they did this, ndio maana nimesema wali go missing for some time, ama the information on them ilikuwa obscure and the existence of the band kulikuwa na disappearance na a silent moment na a sort of hiatus up until the reissue, kukakuwa na a renewed interest na more information on the band, na album yenye waliwakia in the 70s, released in 1975 under EMI. Which brings me to something that nimekuwa niki underscore sana hii wiki, going back to the bands, groups, musicians wa the 60s na 70s. Information on their albums haipatikani, ikipatikana ni very contradictory, so hauko sure which is which regarding the work, regarding the bands that is something that may happen pia for this one. This is a reissue of their only album. It's a compilation. Unapata contradictory information. So nimeisikizia Apple Music, iko na 11 songs. It's a 47-minute album. Ukiangalia other sites that capture the history of the band, kazi walifanya, and the idea of this reissue na the songs on the album, a majority of the sites that are selling the vinyl ama have the information regarding the album wanasema iko na 9 songs, then iko na a side A and a side B, a side A with 5, a side B with 4. Ukiangalia the sequencing and the tracks included zina differ kidogo, lakini uko na 9 songs that are appearing kwa e-version nimesikia on Apple Music, then the first 9 songs are the same ones appearing kwa the other sites that na mention, lakini the sequencing ni tofauti. Hata kuna a site that nimecheki iko na the side A, side B, A1, A2 mpaka A5, then B1 mpaka B4, lakini they mention Fire na Rita kwa their description, lakini haziko included kwa the track list. So nimekuwa skeptical nikisikiza e-version ya Apple Music and knowing kuna different vinyl versions existing online that are being sold under a different title because inaitwa Something for Someone. Though ukiangalia e-version ya Apple Music ni a self-titled album, and then hakuna hiyo logo yenye iko na Something for Someone as compared to the other versions that have the Something for Someone compilation. Kitu nimefanya nitulie, one, kuna the same 9 songs kwa the other versions that have only 9, then hii website nimetaja ya mwisho iko na Fire and Rita mentioned kwa the description but not kwa the track list, but hapa kuna Fire na Rita as the last songs after the first 9. So this is the version that nimesikiza, and we are about to get into enough of this description na historical background, but ni important tying into the album. It touches on history, it touches on documentation. So this is a funk Afro rock album that has tones of blues, folk na reggae. An 11-track album. The writing, interestingly, iko in English and generally ina comprise social and politically aware lyrics. From the opening song, Savaged, up until Save the Savage, song number 10. Kisha the last 2 songs, Fire na Rita. Fire ni a ballad, Burning na Fire ya Desire, then Rita ina conclude carrying the same message. But before Fire na Rita zinazoongelea partners na mapenzi, relationships, kulikuwa na I Don't Know What to Do, that is song number 2 after Savaged. Ni the same sort of idea as Rita na Fire. You know, the only song that unahisi iko out of place ukiangalia the narrative ya the album from start up until the end, ama the Save the Savage song before the last 2 songs. So the social na political messages ni consistent from the word go. Then nimemaliza nikajiambia it's perfect that ndio the only album waliwakia. Obviously kuna the feeling that tungetaka kuona how their career would have been kama wangebaki pamoja, ama hata fans who listened to them in the 70s perhaps walikuwa na hiyo sentiment kudai kuona where this band would have gone, the trajectory of their career na music wange create. Lakini nimesema na nimefeel the sentiment that nimestate juu hii album ina encapsulate their name as a band, Black Savage. Idea ya Africans kuitwa savages, having that coming out through the entire album, and hizo feelings za kukuwa savage, questioning who exactly ni savage kwa hii relationship yetu yenye mmeforce upon, na hizi perspectives that mmetupaint of na mmepatia the world this image ya Africans. Let's take up the name basi, let's share easy views, na kuna that disillusionment una feel looking at how the system ina treat watu, and not from just a colonial perspective, lakini ukiangalia how this band, how these Kenyans wana view the Europeans after ukoloni ifanyike, sort of kupeana a modern based on the time, views na perspective on kile walikuwa wanafanya after kutwita Savages. So you think about Savage, the opening song, think about Do You Really Care na Save the Savage, songs that talk about animal rights. Nyinyi mnaua wanyama alafu mnatumia vichwa vyao, mnavaa ngozi za hawa wanyama and then mnawahang kwa your houses. So that perspective imekuwa interesting kusikia that walikuwa aware of such happenings back in the day, walikuwa interested, walikuwa concerned kuhusu animal rights. Kwa Save the Savage kuna hiyo moment where the vocalist anaongea, anawa-address akiwaambia, najua hiyo si kitu mmewaika mkafikiria kama someone else angekuwa anavaa skin yako, you just kill them for fun, have them in your houses, and questioning sasa who is the savage here. Hii idea could dissect the Europeans mentality. Kuna Sharpeville massacre that talks about the Sharpeville massacre in South Africa. Again, the government, the people in charge, wale watu wenye wako in power murdering people. So again, who's the savage? So hizi questions zina come out looking at them na turning their activities on their face na kuambia haya, hivi ndio mmetuita, now let's look at you. Sisi pia tuwe able to take some time na kureflect on zile vitu mmefanya, but mostly it's for you to look at yourself na mjireview. So Sharpeville massacre, with just saying Sharpeville na massacre haina a lot of lyrics. Something that they also do kwa Grassland ni more instrumental than lyric based, then they just shout Grassland waki-chant. A similar technique kwa Sharpeville massacre, and they let the instrumentation speak. Kwa Sharpeville, the guitars, especially since ziko predominant, they convey a sad feeling, pia inapitisha message ya agony, and the song as a whole kuna feeling ya empathy na solidarity. Do You Really Care na Save the Savage, centering animal rights, does the same. Hiyo idea ya solidarity na kukuwa na empathy. Grassland ina build an idea that the previous song Kothbiro imeanza kudevelop folklore, kugo back to tradition, and hiyo ni ngoma yenye wanaimba in Dholuo, the only song in Dholuo through this entire album. The other songs zimeandikwa na Kiingereza. So Grassland, the instrumentation feeling yake ina build the concept ya tradition na folklore that Kothbiro imeanzisha. Then Exotica, hata from the title, continues doing the same. The song after Sharpeville ni Problems, another situation where the title inakuambia what the song is about. Lamentations kuhusu oppressive situations, marginalizing situations that wanajipata in at the time of their society, kitu yenye imeendelea na imekuwa reality ya the world, reality ya Africa na Kenya since the beginning of time, and since then bado situations ni the same. So kijumla hii ni an album inayo dissect the political class na the effects of their leadership, the social na political implications of poor leadership na of the system. Kama ni gava yenye iko in place, ama unaangalia the white man na the European na implications za leadership yao, actions zao, and then looking at their activities na their behaviors and what it means kulingana na hii concept ya savage. The approach ni interesting, looking at the songwriting, though kuna some instances where the delivery doesn't fully connect. In the same breath, naeza acknowledge kulikuwa na a lyric kwa Do You Really Care that nilifind very profound. Hiyo ndio the first song wana bring in concept ya animal rights na watu kuua wanyama for their pleasure na for their prestige. Kuna a line that ilisemwa kwa hiyo ngoma, nimeisahau, but ilikuwa profound. Perhaps nimeiweka in post production having listened to the album back. Awareness walikuwa nayo ni notable. Apart from vocalist wa Black Savage kwa Fire na perhaps kwa song or two kulikuwa na a female vocalist. Kando na the writing, the other interesting aspect of the album ni the instrumentation. Nimetaja Afro rock na funk, then uko na tones za folk, blues na reggae. Reggae, the last two songs, a different sound as compared to the entire album, lakini the songs Fire na Rita ziko na tones za rock na funk listening to the guitar work. The blend is noteworthy. Arrangements zao na their musicality in our place as an important Kenyan Afro rock band, as well as for grounding them as important figures ikija kwa Kenyan funk. Kama unaangalia the guitar solos, kama unaangalia the guitar work generally, since hiyo ndio instrument iko predominant, and even from the opening, then looking at the rest of the songs, the electric guitar riffs, sometimes distorted, sometimes iko na clarity, impact ya the bass lines, impact ya the percussions. Nikiongelea bass lines, Do You Really Care na Save the Savage, they have a folk feeling. Do You Really Care more centered on the folk, then kwa Save the Savage they bring in more drums na more guitar, iko na more aspects za instrumentation as compared to the previous song that sets the tone ya this animal rights concern that they have kwa hizo ngoma mbili. The acoustic guitar kwa Do You Really Care iko blended na a sustaining bassline, the same acoustic feeling kwa Save the Savage. Kwa Kothbiro, the original version way different from what tumesikia later by Ayub Ogada aki re-record this version, a fuller version of the song. Iko na drums, kuna the guitar work, kuna bass, kuna group vocals, something that they do kwa the album, not through the entire album but kwa some songs centering on group vocals na harmonies. The song here, this other version, fuller, iko na a rock tone to it. Towards the end of the song, kuna high-pitched synth organs. The same organs come back, I believe, kwa Exotica. Wanna play around na their instrumentation. Ndio maana nasema they are important figures, they are prominent as a band ikija kwa Afro rock, psych na Kenyan funk. Na kwa that same Exotica, either as the synth organs come in or before, kuna a flute that comes in and the feeling is so beautiful. It adds on an extra layer to the soundscape. Aspects za instrumentation ni playful na colorful, kisha the songwriting and their perspectives and their keenness in understanding kile kinafanyika imekuwa captivating. Apart from the aspects zile zimenitoa kwa the album kama the inclusion of the love song earlier na towards the end of the album, nitasema pia na understand ni a compilation of their songs coming out of the album that was recorded in 75 na singles zilizoongezwa to the project, singles walizo record later into their career after kurecord the original work in 75 ama this work in 75. Apart from that, the overall level of the mix imekuwa very low, so the master volume imekuwa chini through the entire album. Imeninyima the full experience of the album. Nakumbuka ikianza the delivery ya Kiingereza, as I've mentioned, haikuwa fully defined, then it being low through the entire album imeaffect vile nili get into it na the overall experience. Sijui kama umesikiza Black Savage's album, knowing my demographic, vile nimesema wiki ya mwisho MWE, siko sure, but kama uko part of the 1%, niambie maoni yako kuihusu. Kama una consider kuisikiza, since ujaisikiza, enda uisikize. Usikize some Afro rock, usikize some funk, usikize some blues kule ndani, usikize folk. It's an engaging blend of music, then ukuje uniambie maoni yako kuihusu. Shukran sana kwa kucheki hii video, shukran sana kwa kuona other videos za MWE. Kama umezicheki niko grateful sana. This has been MWE for 2022 up until 2023, if we shall still be in existence, you know tutajua how that one goes. Asante sana for being here. Hope to see you kwa another video. Kama uja subscribe, consider kusubscribe na kuniachia a like kwa this one. Shukran sana.